My name is Austin Haleyalpiy. I'm from the area of in the Federated States of Micronesia and also Palau. I currently work at Hawaiʻi Coalition for Immigrant Rights as a community resource navigator specialist. So I connect our communities, our immigrant communities, especially with resources. And I have a 2-year-old. It's my youngest. Her name is Capri. I think my oldest, her name is Aria. She's 8. Yeah, on a typical day with the family, we like to go to the park. We did it too far, Shane. The local park that's in our side of town, so it's walking distance. Like to go to the beach. My kids left to school. Anything active. And usually there's always an extended family function that's happening. Somebody's having a birthday or something like that. So usually on weekends when we have time, that's what we're doing. We eat a lot of spending time together, but trying to get out of the house at the same time because Monday through Friday, that's pretty much where we're at with work and school and everything. So whenever we get the chance, we like to go out, especially with the extended families, my cousins and their kids coming together just so they can see each other, interact, play, all that with that. So I heard about the WIC program through my partner who already had experience with it, with their oldest. So when our youngest was born, that's when I thought about getting the app and then just trying to figure out how to use it, how to familiarize the file with it. I guess just understanding the process of knowing what our benefits are. Again, what the approved foods are, so I know what to get. When I use our card when I use our own card to go get food. It's definitely a new thing for me. Being a new father and having to understand those kind of things. Because your priorities shifts when you have kids and stuff. So it's not you can just go to the store and get whatever. You're always thinking about somebody else. It's definitely helped us as a family. Because it definitely lifts the burden, especially financially, with having to worry about getting basic needs for kids whole grains, foods. My kids like to eat pasta, so when we found out we were able to get whole grain pasta in the cart, we used to get that. They always eat cereal morning, so that milk, cereal. You love fruit, so that whole $25 or whatever that's allotted for fruits and vegetables is all spent on bananas and all kinds of fruits for them, oranges, apples, all that. So it's definitely helped, especially during the time where my partner was still not at work yet. When she was still taking leave, so that gave us a little bit of cushion to not have to worry about at least our kids having food. WIC has definitely made steps in the right direction of being a little bit more culturally sensitive to especially our communities here in Hawaii. I remember I was working at a youth program called K-Vibe in Kalihi, and that was around the same time that Roots Cafe started it was kind of like a pilot project where families were able to use their WIC to get crops, local foods, breadfruit, that kind of thing. So even when they do the what's it called again? The things they do the things what is always posting going friendly.
Oh, the farmers market.
Yeah. Okay. Farmers market. I thought there was a Hawaiian word for it, but yeah, when they do the yeah. So when they do the what's it called?
Make.
Yeah.
Or they do the farmers market.
Yeah. When they do the farmers market, I think that's when it helps the most because a lot of those, there is that money that's allotted for fruits and vegetables, but not a lot of the times those fruits and vegetables that our community eats, like fresh fruit, taro, you can find in places like Times or Fulan. So I think it's made, like I said, steps in the right direction, but I feel like if we can open it up more to our local farmers and have kind of like a way where I guess we can sponsor those kind of events so that farmers markets don't have to, I guess, wait around until somebody else organizes it. I think that would something more consistent, especially for our communities where transportation might be an issue or even language might be an issue, where they'd have to like schedule going to those kind of things. I wish that people in my community, specifically talking about the Micronesian folk community, that it's not a strenuous process. Um, we are eligible, you know, for WIC, and so I think it's just about making that initial step. And one thing that I also wish that was more uh, accessible was like the need, or not the need, but the ability to receive interpretation if needed. Because I think, especially with the app, um, a lot of our communities might not even have a phone to even have that. And I started using WIC when the app was already, there. So I don't even know how the people would use it without the app. Because every time I use it, that's the only thing that like guides me through how what I'm getting at the store and stuff. So I think if there's a way where we can make the app a little bit more accessible and friendly to not just my community but other communities that have those kind of issues, I think that would help a lot. Because it's kind of it's intimidating when you walk into a store and you're wanting to get something or use something that you think that you have, you feel like you're not fully aware about, let's say like what the approved WIC foods are and stuff. So I think if the app was more accessible, I think for WIC offices, that's what I would want them to know. And then again, for my community, I would encourage them to apply for it because it really does make a difference, and it helps a lot. So I think that that's a neat fix.
Okay. Do you think the little, when you go into like Safeway, they have like WIC approved. Do you think that's been helpful, or what do you think could be approved or improved with those little signs?
I think what can be let's see, what can be improved as far as the user experience for our community, I think would be especially like with intake and just the beginning of the process of kind of the introduction to the app and making sure that they they know what those signs look like, know what it means, and that it means that they can buy that food using their WIC card. Um, so yeah, I think it would mostly have to be with the start of that, even just the application process and really getting down to thinking about, okay, if you're in their shoes and you walk into the store and let's say you didn't English isn't your first language or stuff like that, like how would you be able to still access your benefits in the store without having to need somebody kind of like holding your hand or translate everything. So yeah, I think if stores and WIC offices could think of it like that, if they were in somebody's shoes and they had those kind of issues, how would they go about navigating that? I think it would be helpful in addressing those kind of things. I never really looked at it as a thing because I used to translate for my grandmother. Like I had to go with her to her doctor's appointments, and at the time, like I didn't know that there was interpreters. I was like high school, so sometimes I would have to like miss class or like go to school late because if she had an appointment. But then like getting, I guess, involved in this kind of work, realizing like those things are like supposed to be provided by law and stuff, and I didn't have to miss that time from school. Um, but it was an interesting experience because I think looking back, I guess it prepared me for this role. So
Let's talk about. Can you unpack that a little bit more? The importance of language access, how that's affected you, personally in the past and now as well in your role here.
so yeah, the issue of language access has always been a problem in our community. I was fortunate that my parents made the initiative to come out to school and stay in the continent, and so that was never a problem for me. But then I guess the trade-off was that I didn't really learn my language fully until I got older, because I guess for me it was the opposite effect. I didn't have that access to my own like family's like ancestral indigenous language because I was in America. But then when my grandmother came out, she didn't know how to speak English, and so that was how I both learned our language, and that's also how I got into the whole language access thing. Because pretty much whenever she needed to do anything, I had to like accompany her or take her places. And it was it was an eye opener for me because not only language, but there's a lot of like cultural things that were kind of difficult to go through. Like even just sitting in the doctor's office, and there's some questions, personal questions, kind of that I have to interpret, and it's like it's kind of like awkward, but there's nobody else there. So yeah, that's for me. Language access is personal, and especially in the work that I'm doing now, and getting to know that it's actually part of the law, and that I didn't have to, uh, spend that time doing that. But like I said, I think that experience I would have traded because that's time that I spent with my grandmother, and that's also time that I was able to kind of understand more the barriers in our community here. So